filters.
These are crooked there. Bye! Yeah. Oh, please don't go funny on us. You can't imagine, guys, whoever is into this kind of stuff, maybe you can, but you can't imagine how difficult it is to get this set up and done.
We keep thinking there must be easier ways around it, but
no, we're just a little bit thick when it comes to this. Oh, not one bit comfortable.
But you know who I watch actually, and I was they do a podcast. I don't know. Do you or have you heard of Louisa Zeisman? Oh my God! So she was. What was she on? Probably like something like Alan Sugar's program, you know, You're Fired or whatever it was called, Lord Alan Sugar. Yeah. Now she might not have been on that; it could have been something else. But herself and her friend do a podcast, and it's called Loose Lips. Oh my God! Like
that sounds like something we could do.
It totally is. But I watch them. They like she doesn't show the recordings of her podcast, but I watch them. Sometimes she does stories on her Instagram, and like they're about as tech unsavvy as anyone can get. And yet,
like us,
they put together this amazing podcast and they curse on it and they talk about all kinds of madness. Like you'd be blushing all day long if you heard what they go on like.
But I wonder though, are people? I know we're off the point a bit, but you know when you're doing these kind of videos and that, like, I think I prefer watching people than just listening.
So because there's so many different types of people, like there's people who are auditory, people who are kinesthetic and they do it themselves, people who are visual. So I suppose they're hitting that side of things, and then she's hitting the people who are visual with her Instagram. You know, like because she tells all of her stories on Instagram, but then
she's not doing all of that on this here.
People sometimes don't like watching videos. Some people even don't like watching videos like this.
Hi, Joe.
They want subtitles.
Oh, by the way, I did tell you, didn't I, that your subtitles don't match what we're saying?
Yeah, but I ignored you that day, and I never went back into it. So is it still up there?
I can't remember now, but it was actually so funny.
Do you remember the day that you put yours up and it was...
Did I?
Yeah, no, but we deleted it straight away and it was all these like 2-letter words that was like sounded like a different language that we were saying. So it was like a badly dubbed, you know, like the old Chinese films that you watch on telly.
And our lips don't match what we're saying. That's so funny. So, hi everybody, and where am I looking now today? Up there at the top.
The hole.
Okay.
There.
No, Kira, the hole is up there, like the camera for taking a picture is there.
Oh, because the phone's upside down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, sorry guys, we're a bit late today. I'm a bit nervous talking today. So, thank you, Joe, for coming on there.
Hey,
Joe has, well, I don't want to say too much because I don't know what you want me to say online or not, but Joe has fibromyalgia basically as well. So I was first getting pains when I was about 14 years of age, and my dad had us in athletics and basically every single sport's going in that, and so they thought that I was just joking that I couldn't run around the track because I had pain. They just thought I was being lazy and wanted to get out of what we were doing. And then I kind of started to notice things like when we were going to, say, the cinema in Castlebar or something like that, that I could sit like this, I could sit like the way you were sitting for a while, and then I'd have to turn this way, and I'd get like pains in my coccyx, so I wouldn't be able to kind of sit in the one spot too long. Plus I got kicked up the ass in the coccyx by a guy. Just, I think it's one of those moments where like a lad fancies you and they don't know how to express it, so I was bending down on my hunkers and he kicked me and I landed on my coccyx, and that's
good way to get your attention.
Painful. He was still very cute at the time. Obviously, I got past that. And then just little things like that, just pain. And so I felt like every year I was kind of getting worse, and pain up my back, pain in my neck. But then between my mum having a car crash, us in at one time, and then I had a few head-on collisions. One was 100 miles an hour. But I am a really good driver.
You're so lucky.
And I did write off a car, like, you know, in that month as well. But
I might keep all my comments to myself right now. It's probably safer.
Yeah, so not get into all of those, but basically I think those obviously impacted, especially the 100 mile an hour. They were going 50, I was going 50. We were both going around a bad bend, and they said the impact then would be 100. So I was hunched over like this. Never thought to go to physio or anything like that. And anyways, I started getting progressively worse. And we discussed in not the last video, the one before that, with my brother Brian, who's got MS. when he went to his doctor about his MS, that doctor said, Thelma, you have some similar pain, so I'm just going to send you up as well. And I had no lesions, thank God, or anything like that, so I had no MS. But then do you know the most frustrating thing is that knowing in your body that you've got something wrong with you and there's no name on it. Do you know, it's kind of like then, like it's all an illusion and you think it's in your mind, and that's so frustrating. And then, especially then if you can look okay, you know, we've discussed this a bit, if you look okay in your body and in yourself, and yet then you can be in so much pain. Like it's so hard then because you feel like you have to justify yourself to the world that what it is that you're going through. I obviously were having a load of symptoms that I didn't know was fibromyalgia, so I probably have been having this since I'm about 14 years of age, and I have spent, I'd say, thousands since then on between going to physios, going for massages, going for this, that and the other. I had a full spinal MRI scan on my back. I had is that a bone density scan?
The DEXA scan.
That's the only one you have to drink, like the you have to drink radioactive stuff.
Oh God, no, I didn't know there was something like that.
Yeah, basically it detects all cancers and everything else, so I had to have that, and that's another 500 quid, right? What's it called? I think just a bone scan, I think it's called. Anyways, I had so many different things just to figure out what was kind of going on, and have gone to different doctors, and not everybody believes in fibromyalgia, and a lot of people say, oh, doctors just say that you have that if they don't know what's going on with you. And so finally I went to the sports clinic in Dublin, in Santry, and a friend of mine, her daughter was having issues with her back. Do I have a hairy Ronnie because you're just looking at me with my lips all the time?
No. How can you tell I'm looking at your lips?
Because your eyes are looking at my lips. Paranoid. So this guy who was really good, I actually should have wrote the names down, he's a spinal doctor, went to him, he looked at my x-rays and that, and he said, oh my God, if I had your spine, I'd be so happy with it. He goes, you've got a really good spine for your age. And I'm like, right, okay, well, and he said that I don't have that curvature that most people have. Initially they thought I had 5% spina bifida on my lower back, and I think I do have that. They said it's not going in like an S shape, say this way, it's more kind of going to the side. So I'd kind of, well, I know I'm sitting off today, but I kind of go down this. No, not an MRI scan. I had an MRI scan. It's I think it's a bone scan. I'm not quite sure the name of it. It's where you have to drink radioactive dye, and I got that done in Galway, I think. Anyways, basically then the spine doctor had said that I was that my spine was great, and he said he's going to send me on to a neurologist, not a neurologist, a rheumatologist, and he then turned around and did a load of testing on me and that. So with fibromyalgia they have to physically test you. I think if you have pain in 15 areas of your body for more than 3 months, and then it's a good sign that you got fibromyalgia as well as other things. So
in more than how many?
15. Yeah, so you'd have, like, say, your neck, you'd have your elbows, you have your backs, your knees, you've got your lower back, you can have your collarbones, you can have your ankles. So you have to have pain in those areas for more than 3 months. But also, apparently fibromyalgia, I don't know enough about it. This is why I was asking if there's anybody out there who knows about fibromyalgia, if you can just help me out, and help everybody else out who comes online here. That I know one girl, and she's pretty much wheelchair bound, and she went to get the fibromyalgia test, and it was with somebody different, and I don't know if they pressed too hard on her or whether her skin is so sensitive because of what she has, but she apparently was all bruised after it for a long time. Yeah, she couldn't go for like deep tissue massages or anything like that. So did I just say there, I think fibromyalgia in one sense like cancer, in that there's different levels of how bad and how severe you are. So for me, I don't know how bad mine is. I know there's a load of tablets that I can take, but I don't want to go on any tablets. So he said, look, if paracetamol can work for them, take paracetamol. Sorry, maybe you're just so concentrated on my face, and I'm talking so much that
I never realised I look at someone's mouth so much when they talk. I'm like so fascinated with the words that are coming out of it. I'm just staring at your gob. I can see you from the corner of my eye, and then of course I'm online, right? And there's no interaction anywhere. That I'm kind of like, I was talking to myself here. I'm right here.
Yeah, so you can have neuropathic pain, you can have headaches, you can have fog brain, they call it. So you can get confused, poor memory loss. What else can you have? Oh yeah, morning stiffness. Jesus, morning stiffness. I have that so bad. I actually feel like, not every 8-year-old woman, but like, you know, when you're going up into that spectrum of the golden years, I wake up and I'm completely crippled. And I might, on my yoga video maybe sometime, do me getting out of bed where I am just complete and utter crock. And then the hardest thing is that it's fleeting as well. So you might have it in your shoulder one day, or 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, and then you could have it then down in your knee. And so, say sometimes you could see, like my left hip clicks out sometimes. So I could be walking along and all of a sudden I can't walk anymore. I'm like, oh my God, the pain, oh my God, the pain. It's like, it's having like the worst case sciatica for a few minutes until I can either try and figure out how I can click it back in, or it clicks back in, and then, because it's pinching on the nerve, and then it's gone. So, and then you have also IBS and you have urinary tract issues. So,
and they're all part of the...
all fibromyalgia, and there's no cure. But I don't know, Joe, do you agree with this or not? But I've been told of fibromyalgia that sometimes fibromyalgia, well, it's more common in women than it is in men, but it can be brought on by trauma in your life.
Okay.
And like, we all know I've had lots of trauma in my life.
That's so interesting though, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's just, well, look, what's not brought on by stress, in a sense, do you know what I mean? But sometimes that kind of pisses me off, because I like to think I'm really strong and resilient, and that I've got through everything that I've been through to date, and we go through different ones again, that I don't want to think that my body has kind of had an overload and all of a sudden it's reacting to the fibromyalgia.
But I suppose, so you are strong, and anyone who's been through a trauma and come out the other side and is, you know, at whatever stage of their life, I mean, everyone is strong, but being strong in your mind is very different to being strong on the inside of your body, because whatever we go through, say through childhood, can have an effect on our DNA, can actually have an effect on the way things happen in our bodies that we don't actually have control over. So we can be really healthy, we can eat well, we can drink a lot of water, we can, you know, practice yoga, we can do sports, we can do exercise, we can have massage and all those therapies, but it doesn't actually, they help, but they're not working on the inner issue of what that trauma has done. And I shared a video on my page. Do you remember the one I had sent you with that Dr. Nadine Burke? This doctor in America, she had done a TED talk, and I found it so interesting. I'm going to do
we can put it up on our pages after.
Definitely, yeah. I put it up on my page, so I might send it to you and you can pop it up. And it was really interesting. She said that any adversity through childhood has a massive effect on adult health. And she named off a whole load of stuff that would happen and that could potentially happen, that can happen in an adult's life due to the fact that they've had the trauma. We sometimes aren't even aware of the nature of the traumas that we might have been through. Okay, so we are, but there could have been other things all around that, that can have a huge effect on what happens next. So like it's not that you're not strong. You are strong, but your body is having a little effect and reactions. Yeah. But you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. You know,
it's just so hard and frustrating that, like, that there's not like a therapeutic clinic that you can go to that, like, because everything you go to costs €50. And I don't mind the whole €50 now and again, but like when you're spending it collectively over a long period of time, like, it's so goddamn expensive. But if you go to somebody who says, you know what, I don't think this massage is going to work for you, but I think that maybe this is going to work for you, or this is going to work for you, and that if you were in a certain place, that there was a few different practitioners together, and that they charged maybe €20 each, but they had a constant wheel of people coming in,
and they were referring all the time.
Yeah, I was just going to send like Peter into you now, or I'm just going to send Jane into you now, and we're going to do this work and do this work. So it's more on a holistic level that they're looking at your body, because it's so frustrating and disheartening when you're going from Billy to Jack, spending all this money, and when people kind of laugh with fibromyalgia, they don't understand about it. And so, to be honest, I have been told for years that I had it, only by I was in Africa maybe 18 years ago, and the guy massaged me, said, I think you got fibromyalgia. And my mother got diagnosed, so it's kind of hereditary. And then I said it to my local doctors, and they were like, no, I don't think you've got it. And they were just laughing about it. And then I got told then in Dublin maybe 3 years ago that I had it. So I didn't even kind of read up too much about it, because I suppose I don't want to know that I have got something. And it's very hard that when you get diagnosed with something, okay, it's good to have a label then, right? So you can look into it and see how you can make yourself better. But to know that there's no cure or there's nothing that you can do, that you have to come to terms that you now have a condition that's going to change you for the rest of your life, that this is your now body, this is your now state. Now I know when I speak to my husband, he wouldn't agree with that, and not that, you know, that he's right or wrong, but because he's so big into the power of the mind, he's into Joe Dispenza, how we can change your DNA. And that's all fine and well, and possibly that is the truth over time. But like in the here and now, when you're going through so much pain, you know, it's so difficult. Like I was saying to my friend the other day, like I am so tired and sore to even do any exercise. Not every day, but like I've done the yoga teacher training course because it's suggested to do yoga. So I thought if I become a yoga teacher, then therefore I can't pull out of it then. So I have to like be more disciplined in doing a practice. But there's like this last 2 months, my body has completely seized up, and all my back has locked, and it's kind of like the after effect of a car crash in a sense. And I'm so tired. And then I got 2 boys who are very young. So when I think, how am I going to motivate myself for the day and to be available to them, especially at summertime, so to be with them all the time. But then on top of that, I am worried that if I get any more fatigued by doing exercise, then I'm no good to them. And I don't necessarily have a huge amount of help, because you know, the sick family members and my Damien's parents, they're really good, but I don't want to like, you know, depend on them too much either, and it's hard to get minders or whatever. But I suppose I want to ask you guys, what is that you guys find that's good for the likes of fibromyalgia? I so far have found that Epsom salts, if I have them once or twice a week, and to give myself the time to do that. Deep tissue massage I do find good. Joe, you said that you can't have deep tissue massage.
So Joe says I would also bruise very easily. I can't have deep tissue massage. I'm like a 90-year-old coming down the stairs in the morning.
Oh, God.
Trauma and stress and car accidents can bring it on. What works for me might not work for you.
I know.
When I have a bad flare-up, I use CBD oil. You have to listen to your body, and if it needs to rest, you must rest, or you will be in pain for longer. Everything you've said there is very true when it comes to having something that isn't visible. You know, if you're sore. And it can be the hardest thing to do, is to go, right, today I need to be mindful. I run a membership group for ladies who haven't been to the gym before, or who haven't been fit, and who want to get back into exercise. And the weekend that I had my endometriosis flare up, I was due to do my videos for them for workouts that day, and I actually had to just curl up in a ball and wait. And 2 days later I came on and I did a video for them to say, this is why the video is 2 days late, this is why the workouts are 2 days late, because I physically had to mind myself.
And that's good, because then you're teaching them that they have to do that too also.
Exactly.
You know?
But it takes ages to learn that.
Oh my God.
You know.
And for like, to allow yourself to do, because we're never told how to mind ourselves. We're never told that it's important to look after number one. Do you know? Then for other people to see you looking after yourself above maybe your kids and your husband and everything else and your friends, depending on the person who sees that, it can be like looked upon as selfish and that, you know.
But I think, again, that's another learned belief, you know, are you being selfish or selfful? I remember you were the first person to say that to me, and I thought it was so lovely. And that was, what, a year and a half ago? And you were saying, you know, that you had listened to something and you had gotten so much from it about this whole being self-full. And it's so true. We've been taught that we aren't supposed to be selfish, but it's viewing it in a different way. When you need to look after yourself, that's not being selfish, that's looking after yourself so that you're a better person in your whole life. Again, it's something to learn. And when you end up having something like fibro or any sort of an autoimmune or endo or anything like that, you do have to come to grasp the fact that you have to start minding yourself. Nobody else is going to do it.
That was the hardest thing for me, was that I was thinking like, I can cope with this and I can deal with this and whatever, and it's learned behaviour, because we grew up like, you know, like I love my dad. I feel like I'm really coming down on him in these videos, but like, you know, and because he learnt it as well from somebody else. So I'll never forget, you know, it's so true that they say monkey see, monkey do.
100%, yeah.
So no matter how much you tell your kids not to do something, they're more, like we talked about it there was last week, that 80% of our language is
body language.
Body language, yeah. And oh my God, because my dad was so big into athletics and he won like every race, he was saying, up till he was 40, or pretty much nearly every race. I remember going to the beach, all of the athletic club going to the beach, and in the pissing rain and hailstones and everything else, right? And Dad had us running hard, and that's all great because it's good training, right? He ran himself so hard because he was having a race, that he vomited and vomited and vomited at the end of the beach. And like, there you go, the actions speak louder than words. And I saw him having injury after injury, and he ran through it, and he wasn't listening to himself. So it kind of it kind of paved the path for us that don't listen if you're sore, just keep pushing past it and keep pushing past it. And that's not his fault, that's just the way he was taught, you know. And so for us to relearn that, that's difficult. Like we were in Dublin there not last night, the night before. I slept all the way going up in the car. Then we went out to a concert, and I dreaded going to this concert all day because I was so tired all day and I thought my body wouldn't cope. Went to the concert, pissed rain all night long, and then came home early, went to bed, and then drove home the next day, and I slept for a good few hours on the way down. And Damie's like, there's no possible way you can be tired. Like, how can your body be that tired, Thelma? And I was like, look, I don't know. I said, I just have to go with it. And I was just grateful that in that moment that we were going in the car that I could, but I wasn't at home with the kids. But yeah, so I suppose if you guys could maybe let me know as to what other symptoms do you have, and what's the best way to kind of go about it to make myself as good and as strong as I possibly can. Because I did go onto a fibromyalgia page there maybe last year, and they're all like beaten down about what all these drugs they're taking. I don't really want to take drugs. I don't want to take away from people who have had to go on drugs, because some people are worse than me, and every situation, every person is different.
100%. And your desire is different.
Yeah,
you
like
don't want to do it with drugs.
No, and I didn't want to take drugs for my anxiety for so long, and I battled so hard at myself until I had to listen to my body and say, this is for a period of time. This is not necessarily for the rest of my life, you know. And I just felt that they were all really, really harshly complaining about their situation, and that's all fine too. But I try not to get into a negative mindset about complaining about it all the time, because I would feel that myself, I think I might have addictive personality, that I'll get stuck in that.
But also, the more you complain about something, the worse it actually becomes.
Yeah.
You're encouraging as much, so it goes back to vibrations. So when you vibrate at a certain level, that's what you're going to attract back from the universe. And I know this might sound crazy, but actually when it comes to illnesses and diseases, it's a real truth. So if you're vibrating in a state of, you know, guilt or shame, or, you know, misfortune, or being down on yourself, and, you know, why is it happening to me, and unluck, then you're going to get more of it back. So you'll actually get sicker. It's like people who, you know, what would have been said is the more anger that you have, the more that you're encouraging bad cells to be created in your body. So
because they do that test with rice, don't they? They speak negatively to rice for 3 weeks, and then positive to other rice, and the one that you're speaking bad to becomes very foul smelling and horrible.
They did to plants and everything, you know, the plant will die if you speak badly to it for 3 weeks. The plant that you give love to will flourish. We're just like that. I mean, we're all made of energy. So the more positive that you, and it can be so hard when you're stuck in the middle of pain, and you're uncomfortable, and you're stiff, and you're sore, and you're locked. It's so hard when someone turns around and goes, just be positive about it. Because you're like, that's great, that's nice, while I'm stuck here in this position and I can't move. But it's to find other reasons to be positive outside of the pain. So to be grateful that you get to wake up in the morning, that you get to spend time with your kids, that you get to sleep if you need to sleep. But on that point of you going to sleep in the cars, and it's so funny that your body knew that day, it felt it, that this was time without the kids, that this was the only time that you were potentially going to get. Because at the end of the day, so if you put it in terms of who comes first, so you put the kids first, and then you'll put him first, and then you put yourself. If you were to do it the other way around and put you first and then the kids first, he'd be coming last in that situation. He did, but that's okay. That's okay because you have to mind yourself.
Yeah. And it's not always that case
not
either.
At all.
Do you know?
No.
And like, you know me, and I'm not just saying this, guys. Like, today I made an effort to do my hair and everything else because I had a dentist appointment at 9 o'clock. But usually I'd find it kind of hard to get out of bed. But like, I don't live my life in this like negative state. Like, I try and be as positive as I can, and I'm not sore all the time. But I don't know if you guys find this, because as you said, Joe, that and I know that Catherine's going to be watching later, and she's got fibromyalgia too. Because you guys just messaged me last night, that everybody is different. So this is just my story, and it's my body. So whatever I say about myself, don't get me wrong. I am not saying why aren't you doing this and why can't you do this and surely you can do that, because that is not the case.
There's no judgment. It's not about judging anybody else, because we're all unique.
100%. And
I think Jo said it earlier on. She said what works for her won't work for you, and that's vice versa. And it's this. We had this conversation yesterday because I had said to Thelma, it might be really nice if we could give a couple of tips at the end of each video. And Thelma had said, well, what works for me won't work for anybody else, and that's completely fine. But imagine if all of us gave each other tips, and 1 out of 100 people took your tip and it worked for them.
100%.
If we're only helping one person by doing any of what we're doing, or if you reply with a comment and one person reads it and they get something from it, at the end of the day you've helped one person. And the idea behind changing the world, which is my vision overall, is to change the world and make it a better place, is to help one person at a time, because then it's a ripple effect.
Well, then you haven't seen, and I'm conscious because you have to go. I don't know if you guys have seen, but I found it amazing, specifically because of my story and yours of endometriosis. Imagine saying that with a few drinks.
I know.
But where we can look physically fine, but there are times where we just have to fake it to make it. But there's a Netflix documentary on at the moment, and it's incredible. It's called Diagnosis. Have you heard of it?
No.
Basically, I think she's a consultant, but she now works for the New York Times, or she does both, and she's been writing for them for like about 15 years or something. And so what she wants to do is change one person at a time. So for the people who have unusual symptoms and doctors don't know what it is and they're not getting to the root cause of it, she's putting it to the crowd.
Okay.
So what they're doing is they will do a video of somebody, say me for instance, right? I will tell them what's wrong with me, give them all the different symptoms. I'll give you a better one. There's a young girl on it, and every now and again her body paralyzes herself. She's about maybe 5, and she could be standing up or she'd be in the top of a slide, and all of a sudden she got this, and her whole body would just completely give over to the point that she doesn't breathe, and nobody knows what it is. And she goes, I'm going to put this out there to the world. We're in a smaller basis, right? But I'm going to put it out there to the world and see if anybody else knows what's going on. Oh my God. Doctors came on from different places all over the world. Other people's kids had no idea what was going on. They were like bawling, crying. There's a guy, and he's now 15. They only last for 5 seconds at a time, but there could be 150 times throughout the day.
Whoa.
This guy now has it only a few times in the day, but they're lasting 5 minutes. And so they met this couple, I think they're over in Germany, and anyways, basically he kind of froze, and the mother would just have to hold him like he's like a bigger body now, But anyways, they found out what it was. Like, there was a company somewhere in the world that said, you know what, we think we know what it is, and we're actually doing testing for it at the moment. We have seen a response with rats. We're going to work on this, and we're going to give them the DNA of what you have and see then what drugs that we can give them. And so this woman is healing people with all of these
That's
strange
incredible.
symptoms that nobody else knew what was going on.
That's incredible.
I swear to God, if you're sensitive, you will cry at this. It's so lovely. Diagnosis is lovely. Okay, we might put that up. Basically,
There's no
guys,
rush now because the kids are all playing. So
are you going to the cinema?
The
Or
bowling
bowling?
alley. Yeah, we haven't booked yet though. It's okay.
Oh,
It's
okay,
okay.
alright. Anyways, I don't want to feel like I'm waffling here or anything like that, but I suppose, if I could learn a little bit about fibromyalgia, What are the benefits? What things do you find that work for you? Have you been able to train your mind or work it through on a more holistic process to be stronger and better in your body? I know when I got diagnosed, your man said to me, you might have to go to counselling for a little while. And I was like, why is that? He said, because the hardest thing that's going to be for you is because I look physically healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I might come on someday, I did the other day without makeup, but when I'm having a flare up, you look physically healthy and you look like you can achieve a lot. And sometimes you could see me dancing. This is what happens with fibromyalgia. You could see somebody dancing or doing like a 5k run. All of a sudden, they're absolutely whacked at the end, and they're no good to anybody for 5 days or whatever. And some people find it really difficult because they can lose friendships with that because they can't get out of their bed.
Yeah.
And you can get anxiety and depression with that as well.
Loads of things can be knock-on effects.
So much stuff, you know. So yeah, I'm not coming on here just say poor me. I'm coming on here just to see who else has got fibromyalgia. What have you guys gone through? And how do you, I suppose, better yourself and all that?
And I suppose Thelma touched on it a while ago, and she was talking about her husband mentioning Joe Dispenza. Now, meditation is fantastic. It's only something I've come to very, very recently. I didn't think I could. My limiting belief was I'm not going to be good at it. I can't switch off. I can't relax. And my meditation is karate. But I actually started with Joe Dispenza's meditations, and oh my God, outstanding. Like, absolutely amazing. You may be a meditation person, you may not be. It could be something you could try. I don't know. He's phenomenal.
But and meditation, sorry to interrupt you, meditation though, some people think you're sitting there going, and you're not.
So this, there's loads of different ways to meditate. That's the thing. You can sit and you can go and you can do like a yogi meditation where that's all you do and you chant. Or you can sit in complete silence and you can have music on, or you can sit in complete silence and not have music on, or you can have a guided meditation, which is somebody speaking you through the meditation and telling you what they want you to do. Going through different meditations and finding somebody who suits you is really, really important.
100%. And their tone of voice and everything.
Oh, totally. Like, it can change everything.
Connection again.
I'm part of a group with this Joe Dispenza meditation, and one lady came on and she said that his voice triggers her with something that happened in her past, and she doesn't know how to listen to the meditations even though she knows they could be really good. And somebody else came on and said, turn the volume down so that his voice isn't as loud in your ear, and then maybe it might change it up. And then somebody else had a great idea. Well, why don't you do a voiceover of his meditation and then listen to your own voice?
Oh my God, that's very good.
Isn't it brilliant?
Yeah, that's very good, because I'm a bit triggered by it since I had my anxiety, my first anxiety attack, whereas I feel that it's I just think it's almost like hypnosis, because he's talking at a monotone voice. He's doing it deliberately. He doesn't talk at that all the time in his courses. And I just feel like, oh my God, like, don't hypnotize me, because I am scared of not being in control.
Yeah.
Do you know? And so I feel if I get into that state of hypnosis and I'm not in control, that would freak me out. But that's my work that I have to do for myself. So maybe I could just do it at a time that I feel safe doing it, and know that the people I'm surrounded by, well, I know that you said to me one time we'll do some hypnosis together.
We did a meditation together the night you had a sleepover. Of course, now she fell asleep.
I sat up. I was drunk, so I was kind of.
I wasn't drinking. Yeah. No, the other night we did it twice.
Did we?
I think you fell asleep both times. You started off.
Yeah.
But they do say that if you fall asleep during meditation, it's okay, because it's what your body needs at the time. So it's to go with the flow of it. And there's loads of rules that people put on things. But if there's anything that I'm here to say, it's don't listen to other people's rules. Make your own. It's really important to create your own and do the things that feel comfortable for your own body. On that, Jo said that she found great effect with CBD oil. Now, I don't know enough about it to comment. However, I did try CBD oil about 5 or 6 months ago, but it wasn't legit. In my humble opinion, it wasn't legit. It didn't do anything for me, and it tasted cack. However, I do know that there's massive studies being done around it, but you need to be very careful where you buy it, who you buy it from, the strengths that you buy it. There's 2 chemists in Westport, or in Ireland, who supply it. And you have to phone them, you have to come and meet them. They will weigh you, they will find out all of your symptoms.
Oh, wow.
And then they will give you the exact doses that you have to take. That could change in a week, which means you have to ring them, you have to tell them all of the side effects or symptoms that you're having. They can change it, they can tweak it, they're really, really good.
Phenomenal.
I'm going to find the names of them just in case, because we can pop it up here.
Yeah.
The other thing that seems to be having great traction at the minute is mushrooms. Now, I don't mean magic mushrooms, I'm not talking about going out and getting high. I'm talking about, yeah, well, hey, go for it if that's your thing. I'm talking about reishi, Ganoderm, I think it's called. Ganoderm or Ganoderm. So it's a specific type of mushroom that's been tested. It's used in Chinese medicine. And I'm actually about to start using it myself.
Yeah.
Through a company called Organo. Now, I have a connection and a link with them. But anyway, I haven't started yet, so there's no point me saying anything about it until I have. They want me to try them for endometriosis because they've tried them for a whole load of other stuff. Wow. And they're having incredible results. Like, we're talking people coming off medications, they don't say that they heal because they can't. People coming off medications, people just literally having reversals of symptoms completely. So for me, I'll probably have to try these mushrooms, use the spores for maybe 3 to 6 months because of endo and the way it runs. A spore is a little part of the mushroom. So you take those instead of the whole mushroom, and then they have it in tea and hot chocolate, all kinds of stuff. So sometimes it's about looking outside of the medical box. Do not get us wrong. We do not think that everybody should come off medication. That's not what we're here to say either. We're not doctors. But sometimes to have a practice around your pain and around your situation that supports your medical side and your medical journey. So Thelma does massage, cupping, and she really loves that. And she'll have her Epsom salt baths. And she practices her yoga whenever she can. I try and I do my meditation, and I will do my karate, and I'll go to the gym. And whenever
you do swimming in the sea.
I
you find that amazing.
And I love it. Like, for me, that's like a therapy.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course it would be.
So we do things that support our practice. So for me, if I was to give 3 tips on pain management, maybe we could call it.
And this is important as well, because we talk about friendships all the time. To be around people who allow you to be who you are
100%.
On an hourly, daily basis, because okay, I know there's some people that love to complain about pain all the time, and that can just wear you down in friendships, right? But if you're one of these people who just don't take that on, but you can be there for them, then you're phenomenal to be there with them.
Yeah.
For me, I can't. I don't know. I don't know. But basically, so to surround yourself with, you always call it your tribe. What is it?
Yeah, your vibe attracts your tribe. Like this.
Your vibe attracts a tribe. So have a good support network if you can. And I know that can be hard sometimes, you know, just to support you, who are not going to leave you when you have your painful days and that, you know. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's okay. I don't know.
So you were saying about the tips, and you were saying about what you do and what I do.
Yeah, and again, like Joe said, and we've said it already, it might not work for you, but it might. So for me, meditation, and Joe Dispenza is now my guy, 100% my guy. I love it. I now meditate every single night without fail. I haven't not meditated it's only 3 weeks. I'm brand new to the practice. But now when I get into bed and I go,
you can drop into it.
Oh, I need to sit up and I need to meditate because I don't feel good if I don't. And I'm creating things through my meditations which are changing my health, my wellness, my body, my ability to... When you do these meditations, it's really important that you set your intention and you decide the thing that you want to create for yourself. So whether it's not having pain, or whether it's having good health, or whether it's growing teeth, or whatever it is that you're actually creating those things, which is really funny. So for me, meditation, swimming in the sea, karate, making sure I go to the gym, and making sure that I mind myself. So if I need to close my front door and I need to switch off my phone and I don't want to answer phone calls and I'm in pain, then I'm okay with that. I'm not going to feel guilty about it, and that's what I'm going to do. And I have fantastic people around me who, at any point of me saying, like, I have an amazing friend and he's a guy, and I will hashtag my message to him, girl talk, and I will send him that first, and then I'll say, it's Shark Week, I can't train today, I'm absolutely dying, it's really, really heavy, and is that okay? And he'll message me back, Jesus, God love you, don't worry about it, I'll chat to you when you're ready. And he checks in on me, and that's a guy. I've amazing girlfriends and support, and even my son, because I think, you know this saying, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village for everything. And when we become more aware of the things that we need and the people that we need in our lives, the people that we allow in and the people that we tell our stuff to, that's the whole point of everything, because then people can help. People can't help you if they don't know that you're going through shit. What would be your tips?
I just want to say something on the friendships again. If you cannot be yourself around your friends and you have to act in a different way that's not your truth, that actually is really draining on your system.
Mm-hmm.
I know sometimes we can be like that with family and that, and you know, family sometimes the reason why sometimes we can have friction with families because they know our triggers, and when they want to annoy us, they know what buttons to press, and we do with them, you know. So besides them, you know, getting back to the friends, just really try and have a look at your friendships and just see if you can slowly come apart from the people who just aren't serving you anymore. And I don't mean that like, you know, ignorantly or mean or anything like that, but it's so taxing on you mentally in every way, shape or form. One other thing I want to say in regards to tips is something I've just realised for myself. I know there's another Netflix thing, I think it's all about sugar, and people have watched this. If you watch it, you'll never want to eat sugar again. I have noticed that eating sugar, so my diet, fibromyalgia really gets affected by what I eat. I don't know what it is exactly, I haven't narrowed it down because I don't even think about having a food diary because I'm just sure that's going to take so long. But anyways, maybe I'll look into that. But I have been allowing myself the cakes and allowing myself all the rubbish food because I was on a very strict diet last year trying to figure out what's going on with my stomach. And oh my God, there was hardly anything that I could eat, and it was all healthy. And if you know me, I'm probably the most unhealthiest person. So I've allowed myself to have all these cakes and everything else, and I had a flare up. Mm-hmm. So I'm putting one and one together, and hopefully that's two. But we'll see. So yeah, tips, good friends, mindful of the weather. A lot of people find swimming very good. I have Epsom salts. I have cupping. I'm going to try again acupuncture, but I go into spasm and I can't breathe when I get acupuncture usually, but I'm going to maybe try that again, maybe just to find the right person in that field that actually would work well with me. Then there's counselling. I had been to counselling in the past, so again, if you need to be a counsellor on an ongoing basis, it's great support just for you to have somebody to listen to you. So you've got 1 hour of lovely airtime and space that's yours to vent or whatever you want, and it's in a safe space. And my Epsom salts. So they're kind of the main things. So diet, baths, cupping, massage, and possibly swimming. I think they're my main ones.
Yeah, okay, very good.
So we're going to finish it up, shall we?
Sure.
And if any of you have any comments, or you want to get in touch, or you want to like put down on the page what it is that works for you guys, feel free.
That would actually be brilliant because, like Joe said earlier on, you might have stuff that we haven't mentioned that really works for you. And maybe if you could give an insight into the CBD oil that you use. Again, you're not recommending it to anyone, but you're saying that this is what you use and this is how it's worked for you. That would actually be really good.
I actually have one in the car. I got gifted by a rep who happened to come into my sister's shop in the wellness room, and I have it in the car and I was meant to bring it in. But anyways, I might try it on another video just to show you how it might work on my body. But I'll have a chat to the rep first and see.
Okay, so again, thank you so much for everybody for watching, and we appreciate your time. I agree with all of those ladies. Thank you, Joe. That's brilliant. And hello, and thanks a million to everybody who has popped on.
If you want to come live again anytime, just let us know. If you want us to chat about different things, let us know. If you want to subscribe to Ciara's page, also it's Ciara Heenan Coaching.
Yeah.
And Ciara does a lot of work with inner empowerment for women. Or is it for everybody?
A lot of inner power work, mostly for women.
Okay.
I have worked with male clients, but I generally work with women. So
so that's really, really good to kind of raise your vibration on that. And we are also on YouTube. Helen McGibbons, Ciara Heenan.
YouTube, my favourite.
I have to build up my subscribers. I think I've got 2 subscribers.
I think I have 20. I don't know how I got them.
We're virgins.
Yeah, we really are.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you guys watching today.
And it's Friday.
I know, I actually can't believe
Thank God.
And the weather's meant to be lovely this weekend, guys. So
apparently.
Maybe get swimming in the beach.
I went for a swim last night. I jumped off the pier at Old Ted. It was almost dark. Myself and Josh went out and it was awesome. It was so good.
I don't like the
wetsuits, baby. 5 mil wetsuits. Don't be getting yourself a 3 mil, not in Ireland. That's my last tip.
Okay. Take care. Thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. And until Tuesday, we'll see you Tuesday. We may have a big subject on Tuesday. We'll see.
We may just.
Okay.
Hasta la vista, people.
Love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.